People have long been fascinated with the seemingly magical list of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. The Greeks who compiled the list found the number 7 mystically significant, perhaps because it was the number of the 5 known planets along with the sun and the moon. Historian Herodotus created one of the early lists. Later so did Antipater of Sidon and Philo of Byzantium. Each list, however, only reflected places in the Grecian world. They might have included structures like Stonehenge if they'd been aware of them, but that was beyond their horizons. Perhaps the most obvious object to be put on any Greek's list would have been the sculpture of Zeus, the king of their gods. The impressive 40-foot-high statue located at the center of worship in Olympia was finished in 435 BC and existed for nearly 900 years before it was destroyed by fire. Another obvious entry on any list had to be Egypt's Great Pyramid of Giza. It was already 2,000 years old at the time the lists were being made. The massive tomb, at 480 feet high, over 146 meters, will remain the tallest man-made structure until the 14th century, and is the only member of the list of ancient wonders that still stands today. Perhaps the most beautiful of the wonders was the Temple of Artemis at Ephesus. Antipater wrote that compared to the other members of the list, when I saw the temple at Ephesus rising to the clouds, all these other wonders were put in the shade. The temple was finished in 323 BC and destroyed by invaders in the 3rd century AD. Competing with the Temple of Artemis for the most beautiful wonder was the Mausoleum of King Mausolus at Halicarnassus. His wife commissioned the best artists in the Greek world to fill it with beautiful sculptures. It was heavily damaged by an earthquake in the 13th century AD. No list would have been complete without the colossal statue of the god Helios built on the island of Rhodes in 292 BC. The bronze sculpture, as tall as our modern Statue of Liberty, only stood for a little over a half-century before it was felled by an earthquake and never rebuilt. Perhaps the most mysterious of the places on the list was the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. Archaeologists have not been able to find the foundations of the gardens, and some historians think it may have actually been located 350 miles further north in the city of Nineveh. The royal gardens were built around 600 BC and were thought to have been destroyed by an earthquake in the 2nd century AD. On some early lists, Babylon also hosted another wonder, its walls, which were said to be hundreds of feet high and 56 miles in length. In 280 BC, however, work was completed on the Pharaoh's lighthouse at Alexandria, Egypt. This displaced the walls of Babylon as the 7th item. The 450-foot-tall lighthouse was the last addition to the list and considered the only wonder which actually had a practical function. The lighthouse was brought down by an earthquake in 1303 AD.